home season has come to an end and all attention is on the 10th season of the Indian Premier League. It's time for the second game. It's the Maharashtrian Derby, rising Pune Supergiant versus Mumbai Indians. Suneer Chowdhary and I, Shruti Chopra, are all set to preview, analyze and predict this one. Hey Suneer, welcome back to Mumbai. How does it feel?
Hey Shruti, how are you? It feels nice to be back in Mumbai, although it feels a little warmer than what it was in Chandigarh. But hey, you take the bad with the good, and the good is being back in Mumbai.
I'm so glad, but I'm sure Kings 11 Punjab will be missing you, Suneer.
I don't think so. The 2 seasons that I was there in Chandigarh, the Kings 11 Punjab did not even make it to the playoffs. So I don't think they'll be missing me too much. Although I do believe that under the tutelage of Virendra Sehwag, who's taken over as the chief mentor now, they should at least make it to the playoffs or push the teams that are trying to make it to the playoffs, because a healthy competition is the one in which all teams involved, all 8 teams in this case, make a dash towards the last 4 stage. And that's not been happening ever since Delhi and Punjab have had a struggle. And last year it was Pune's turn as well. They had a bit of a struggle under MS Dhoni.
In fact, speaking of Pune, let's just get right into this. It's their second and last IPL season. And after that shoddy display, they would want to end their run in the IPL on a high.
Yes, they would. What's in a name, as they say. But if Pune can overturn their 2016 showing, it could all be down to their name, dropping that S of the Super Giants. Although I must admit, Shruti, when I read one of those headlines that Pune have decided to change their name, I almost thought they'd gotten rid of the Rising and the Super Giants bit in totality. But jokes aside, I think Pune looked like they were rattled by their performance last season when they finished 7th under MS Dhoni. And they made a sea of changes going into the season. And it started even before the early watchers had settled down with the trade of Mayank Agrawal, who joins the team as an opener. Faf du Plessis did a good job of opening the innings for the rising Pune Supergiant last season, but when he left, the Supergiants had their woes at the top, which was a problem.
And Suneer, speaking of changes, there was that change in captaincy as well.
Yes, there was. To drop MS Dhoni was a surprise, not because it was a bad move. Look, we'll soon know, because Steven Smith has captain Australia as well, and when you're captaining Australia in across formats, especially the ODIs and the Test match format, you expect something good out of him. But not because of that reason, but because of the enormity of the decision itself. Players like Sachin Tendulkar, MS Dhoni, Virat Kohli, they don't get dropped. Not in a country where the following dictates the fortunes of a side, and they were given the option of at least stepping down. Which is why when the Super Giants, or Giant as they are now called, decided to axe Dhoni from the role, it came across as a major surprise. Speaking of changes, then they made that slight alteration to their name, shelled out a whopping 14.5 crore to bring in Ben Stokes, and later decided to get Imran Tahir as a replacement for Mitchell Marsh when they already have a leg spinner in Adam Zampa. And no Australian is going to leave the tournament in the middle of the season because they're not playing any internationals. That was again a bit of a surprise. It gives me an impression of a management on hot tin roof, Shruti.
And in this first game, what will be the one thing you would be looking forward to watching from this Pune side?
I spoke about Steven Smith, and he comes into the tournament with a kind of form that easily makes him the world's best batsman. But one must quickly juxtapose that with his T20 record. He averages less than 13 T20 cricket and has a strike rate of 126. Not the kind of figures you would associate with the world's best, and that is something he would want to change. And he's coming off a long Australian summer as well, which was followed by a mentally and a physically sapping test series against India. We'll be having a very close look at how he goes in the tournament, both as a batsman and as a captain.
Now, the 2-time IPL champions, the Mumbai Indians, come into their opener with a surprising cloud of slow starts under their belts over the last 3 seasons. Tough to explain that.
Yep, no doubt about that. For a team that has at their disposal the kind of riches that the Mumbai Indians have, it's something bizarre about the team which allows them to, which makes them that kind of slow starters. But the good news is that it's getting better for them. They lost all their 5 games in the 2014 season, the first 5 ones. Then they won 1 out of those first 5 in 2015 and later on went on to win the title. And last year, They managed to win 2 out of their first 5. So they're probably getting there. Probably they have a better win-loss record over the first 5 matches this season. Because on paper, why this is a bit of a surprise is because on paper they have a very well-balanced side and one that goes into the tournament as second favourites according to the bookmakers behind just the Royal Challengers Bangalore. And we know that Bangalore have been struggling with all those injuries. Every day you open the newspaper and there's one new Bangalore player injured. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of takers for Mumbai Indians as favourites ahead of even Royal Challengers Bangalore.
What do you make of the Mumbai Indians squad? It doesn't look like they like to make major changes to their lineup, and that should help in a long-run tournament like this.
It should. And that's also why they have a decent record over the past few seasons. They did not have a great first couple of years in the IPL, but then they realized what the formula is. They backed those players who had been given in the results, and that backing of the players by the management has led to a cohesive unit. But I must quickly add here, and that while they are not quite the Royal Challengers Bangalore or the Delhi Daredevils in terms of the injury issues those two teams are facing, the lack of cricket for their top players must be or could be a concern going into this opener, especially when historically we've spoken about how badly they start in tournaments like these.
Yes, Suneer, Rohit Sharma recently did say he was almost worried his injury might not heal, but things look to have settled down.
They have, and Rohit Sharma has fully recovered from that injury that, in his words, seemed to have scared him no end. But he hasn't played too much cricket recently, and that's going to be a problem. And it's not Rohit alone. It's Mitchell Johnson has retired from all kinds of cricket except the domestic T20 circuit, and he last featured in the Big Bash League, which ended in January. Lasith Malinga is slowly coming off his own fitness woes, and then there are form issues for the likes of Joss Butler, who did not have a great series in India, and Kieron Pollard, both of whom could be expected to play a key role in the side. In fact, Pollard, who flopped miserably during the Big Bash League, is in a dire need to fire or run the risk of losing his place, because Mumbai Indians do have Asela Gunaratne in the squad as well, which seems to be a like-for-like replacement for Pollard. So that's something he will have to worry about.
So are you trying to say that the Mumbai Indians have a very little chance going into this game?
Dare I say that, Shruti. But if you're asking me for my prediction, I'll defer to you. Why don't you go first? What do your cards say?
Well, according to the cards, the rising Pune Supergiant will probably not get their playing combinations right, whereas the Mumbai Indians may just feel more at home. Plus, they appear to be more willing to take risks, which is why it's Tara advantage Mumbai Indians.
Need you to look into your cards to say that the Mumbai Indians start off as favourites, Shruti?
Well, if we look back at what you've just said, that Mumbai Indians are slow starters, I think this is the right time to have a look at the cards and see if they're going to start off on the right note. But, Suneer, let us know your predictions, please.
I would just give that edge to rising Pune Supergiant for the simple reason that A, Mumbai Indians are a bit of slow starters. B, it's a new coach. Mahela Jayawardena is just about starting to find his feet in the coaching role. He's not coached any teams before. He has been an assistant coach on one or two occasions. It's a big squad that he has to manage. But see, more importantly, I think Pune look to be much more hungry going into the tournament. Sometimes that could cause a bit of a problem for the team when you're very hungry and you want to do a lot of things at one go. But I think Pune at home have that slight advantage going into this game.
So you're going with rising Pune Supergiant, and you're hoping that the dropping of the S will also help. And I'm sticking with Mumbai Indians. That's it for this one. I will be back with my prediction of the third game very soon, so do watch this space. Follow us on Twitter at World Cricket Chat and do subscribe to this channel. Bye-bye.